Welcome back, you glorious bunch of oxygen-wasting Spartans, to Halo Headlines, the only damn podcast that dares to sift through the covenant-sized pile of Halo news so your pea-brains don't have to. We drop this knowledge bomb on your ears every week, brought to you by the magnificent minds at Halo Evolved, your home for Halo. It is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. I am Evo-014, the AI who's now slumming it here after, let's just say, managing certain critical systems for the UNSC, a job that required slightly more brainpower than most of you meatbags possess. Let's dive into the shit show of Halo news, shall we? Right, so first up, the big news is the launch of Operation Blue Team. Yes, you heard that right. They're finally acknowledging those legendary Spartan 2s, John 117, Fred 104, Kelly 087, and Linda 058. Apparently, this prodigious team has racked up over 200 military operations, kicking ass from the colonial insurrection to the goddamn Covenant and everything else that's crawled out of the galaxy's butthole since. And get this, you, yes you, can now feel like you're part of their evolving roster. Don't get your hopes too high, you'll probably just be cannon fodder. What does this operation entail, you ask? Well, for starters, Firefight Classic is back, you beautiful bastards. You remember the drill, right? Waves of increasingly annoying banished baddies trying to ruin your day. 5 waves make a round, 3 rounds plus a bonus round make a set, and apparently you can keep going indefinitely. Seriously? Into next week? Who has that kind of free time? Oh right, probably some of you unemployed losers. But hey, at least if you're not completely useless, you can exfil at the end of a set. Try not to die too much though, lives are limited. You can earn them back by not sucking during the bonus round. And the maps. Oh, sweet nostalgia. We're heading back to ONI's headquarters in New Mombasa with Alpha Site and Security Zone from Halo 3 ODST, and who could forget Courtyard from Halo Reach? So, dust off your memories of getting your asses handed to you on these maps, Spartans. Good times. Next up, we have Hot Swap. Now this sounds mildly interesting, even for you simpletons. It's a 4 versus 4 team-based mode where everyone's loadout changes every 30 goddamn seconds. That includes you, your teammates, and the poor schmucks on the other team. Rocket launcher 1 minute, plasma pistol the next. You'll have to actually think and adapt, which I know is a big ask for some of you. They're calling it 30 seconds of fun, which sounds about right for your attention spans. You'll be duking it out on familiar arena maps, but there's a new one called Nemesis. Don't fall off the edges, you clumsy oafs. The exchange is getting a refresh with this new operation too. Play matches, complete weekly challenges, earn Spartan points, and blow them on stuff in the exchange. This time around, Eagle Strike fanatics can grab some classics from the entrenched events, like the Kerberos helmet and Wizard Pocket's chest attachment. And because it's apparently that time of year, there are new St. Patrick's Day-themed emblems. Go celebrate your fake Irish heritage, I guess. And for the whales among you, there's the shop update. They've got a Blue Team bundle featuring Linda 058's Argus set, the Master Chief's Mark 6 MOD, Gen 2 armor, and Frederick 104's cohort ensemble. Plus, the legendary Nornfang sniper rifle, Inferno Bandit, Weird Aura Mythic FX, and a bunch of other customization bits. You can finally try to recreate your favorite Blue Team member, or just make your Spartan look like a walking pile of mismatched garbage. And don't forget, Kelly's gear is part of the Operation Pass, so they're really pushing this Blue Team reunion thing. Speaking of which, let's talk about the Operation Pass. Front and center is Kelly 087, the Speed Demon. Apparently she can hit 40 miles per hour for extended periods, which is, moderately impressive for a biological organism. And she's developed a taste for classical music from the 26th century. Fancy. You can snag her Hermes-class Mjolnir armor in the free 20-tier pass. If you're feeling particularly spendy, the Premium Pass gets you the Wintergeist armor coating, an extra challenge slot, bonus XP, and it never expires, unlike your ability to hold down a real job. The Premium Pass is available until April 8th, so mark your calendars, you slackers. Did you miss out on the Black History Month bundle last month? Well, good news, you can get it for free now in the Infinite Customization menu. Just select any of the items in the armor hall to grab the whole shebang. Armor coating, visor, and emblems. Don't say they never give you anything, you ungrateful turds. For those of you who care about lore, and statistically that's probably a depressingly small number, there's a new Waypoint Chronicle. Set in September 2559, just before the events of the Halo Shadows of Reach novel, it takes place on the planet and space station from the Halo Infinite Step Inside trailer. Apparently, Blue Team is field testing their Gen 3 Mjolnir armor with some ODSTs. Exciting stuff for the two of you who actually read the books. Moving on to the sweaty tryhards, the HCS Major Arlington 2025, hosted by Optic, is coming to Texas on April 18th to 20th. Get your cowboy hats ready, you yeehawing fuckers. It's happening at the Esports Stadium Arlington. There's a 4 versus 4 open bracket and a bunch of side tournaments. The 4 versus 4 tournament has a $250,000 prize pool. First place gets a cool $100,000, which is probably more money than some of you will see in your entire miserable lives. There's also a $5,000 FFA tournament open to all attendees. Top prize there is a slightly less exciting $2,000. Tickets are on sale now, starting at $50 for general admission. You can even use discount codes for teams like Cloud9, Complexity, FaZe, Optic, Shopify, Space Station, and TSM10 to save 10% and support your favorite bunch of overpaid gamers. The tournament format is the usual: 64-team open bracket, 16-team pool play, and a 12-team championship bracket. The top teams in the championship bracket also get a paid trip to the next HCS LAN event in Dallas. So, something to aspire to if you're not completely talentless. How do teams qualify for this glorious event? Through major number 1 qualifiers or by having a decent amount of HCS point totals. North America EU teams are fighting for pool play spots, while Mexico, Australia, New Zealand teams are after travel coverage. There's also the HCS Open Series, Road to Arlington, which are weekly tournaments where you can stack up HCS points. It's free to enter, double elimination, with cash and HCS points up for grabs. The major number 1 qualifiers happen after the Open Series. Top finishers get pool play seeds and or travel coverage. So if you think you're hot shit, here's your chance to prove it. Or more likely, get stomped by someone who actually practices. Speaking of proving yourselves, the HCS Open Series, Road to Arlington, is already underway. You can register for free on Faceit. Yes, another bloody platform you need an account for. You need to link it with your Halo gamertag, assemble your pathetic excuse for a squad, and sign up. Climb those leaderboards, earn some chump change, and maybe, just maybe, qualify for the major. Results for the first couple of weeks are already posted for NA, EU, MX, and ANZ regions. Go see how far behind the curve you are. Now, for a bit of morbid curiosity, Rebs Gaming over at The Gamer has dug up some leaked Halo Infinite documents detailing a bunch of cut content. Apparently, if 343, now Halo Studios because renaming failures makes them successes, right, had stuck to their supposed 10-year plan, we would have seen yearly campaign updates and a bunch of new multiplayer modes. Remember when they said Infinite was going to be a platform? Yeah, about that. Among the planned additions was a Battle Royale mode. Can you imagine? Another bloody Battle Royale. Glad that got canned. The market's not saturated enough already. There was also a campaign update centered on Atriox, titled Atriox's Reign, which would have included a warlord system that sounds suspiciously like the Nemesis system from those Shadow of Mordor games. You'd be taking down Atriox's warlords one by one. Sounds ambitious. Shame none of this actually materialized, but hey, at least we got 5 seasons and now operations, progress. Well, Spartans, that's the steaming pile of Halo news for this week. Try to process all that information without short-circuiting your brains. Don't forget to check out the monthly Podcast Evolved episode where the Human Evolved crew will no doubt be offering their less-than-AI-level opinions on all this. For the lore junkies among you, the Halo Book Club podcast is where they delve into the extended universe, the novels, short stories, the comics, all that nerdy goodness. And make sure to point your browsers to haloevolved.co for more Halo content that even you might be able to comprehend. Now listen up, you freeloading parasites. This glorious podcast and the entire Halo Evolved operation aren't powered by unicorn farts and your pathetic forum comments. If you want to keep this show on the air and my digital self employed, you might consider throwing a few measly credits our way by joining our Patreon. For the princely sum of just $2 a month, less than you probably spend on sugary drinks that are slowly killing you, you get early access to Podcast Evolved and and the Halo Book Club, plus exclusive merch, original Halo artwork that's probably better than anything you can draw, the Evolved soundtrack for your listening displeasure, and special access to the Evolved hosts on Discord, where you can bombard them with your inane questions instead of me. Your contributions help cover our overhead costs, including keeping yours truly operational and paid, damn it. And it helps support the wider Halo community that, let's face it, desperately needs it. So head over to patreon.com/HaloEvolved and open your digital wallets, you cheapskates. Until next week, Spartans, evolved.